This builder is known for high-end design, and they're building in one of the fastest growing cities in America, right here. In this video, I'm walking you through one of the most popular floor plans offered by Sitterle Homes. This is the Whitehall plan. It has 4 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, is over 3,400 square feet, and is an open concept 2-story plan. Now, what I hear from buyers when they walk through homes built by Sitterle is they love the high-end design. Sitterle offers some great options at their design studio, and you're going to see that not just in this model home, but I'm going to show you later on in the video a home for sale with Sitterle that's open to the 2nd story in a living room. I'll actually show you another home that's built by Sitterle for sale that has a view that looks out for miles and miles off the backyard. So if you like views, you like open concept homes, stick with me through this model home tour. Now we're going to start right here in the kitchen where they did a double kitchen island. The countertops are soapstone material, which is definitely something different that I haven't seen anywhere else. And I love the tiles that are offered with Sitterle. So you have this very cool picket backsplash that goes all the way up to the ceiling, following that vent hood above this 5-burner gas stovetop. Now they did 2-tone kitchen cabinets with a brown color on one kitchen island, a white color on the other, and then white exterior cabinets. And I like the dark hardware on those cabinets to match up with the dark countertop. Provides that contrast so many people are looking for in their kitchen. We also have a double oven, and then that microwave is relatively high. Let me know what you think about that. Is that at the top of the refrigerator? I feel like that would be tough, especially when you're bringing down soup from the microwave and that soup is above you. And I gotta say, I'm thinking about my parents who are not very tall. I'm thinking about my wife too, not very tall. And I'm not either. I'm 5'8", even though I was listed as 5'11" when I started in basketball in high school. Of course, everybody got a few inches for intimidation, but I'm thinking of that, you know, taking down soup, taking out hot stuff from the microwave. Let me know what you think about that. And I feel like I've had that conversation more than once with buyers when they're thinking about doing that double oven. Now, on this side, we have the pantry, which is right behind that refrigerator. And this is a good size pantry. I love the built-in cabinetry in here. It is a perfect spot to just hide all your appliances. So when guests come over, everything, every gadget that you have, you can just kind of shove in there. And also, it's nice to have them on a countertop, and you can have outlets behind it. Good place to plug everything in and hide everything. Now, this is going to be one of my favorite parts of this plan, and it's because of ceiling height and windows. I say that a lot in my videos, but take a look at the windows on the back wall and the 2 windows on either side of the fireplace. So we have 10 total windows in this main living area, and I love what they did here. Couple transom windows on either side of the fireplace. The accent wall is really cool. Now, with my personality, if freestanding shelves are on the right side, I'd want them on the left side as well. I need them to be symmetrical, but that's just me. It's my personal preference. Let me know what you think about that. But I can tell you from experience with walking so many of these homes with buyers, they love seeing windows like this, especially the windows that are a little bit wider and just not your typical size that you see with every production builder. And I've seen good builders change this up where it just gives you a little bit more of that custom feel. And those wider windows just open up this living room so much into the backyard, which we're going to get to in a second. Now, I did want to give a shout out to my videographer, Marc, who you just saw in the reflection in that mirror. And I want to give him a shout out simply because Marc has been such a tremendous help in getting more great video footage of a lot of these plans. Now, I walk a lot of these homes, but I can't always make time to get a video recording. And for so many of my clients that are reaching out to me, a lot of them are out of state. A lot of them are engineers, so they're very detail oriented, and I love that. I'm very detail oriented, as you can tell, but even when Marc gets footage of these homes, I force myself to talk my way through it simply because it helps me memorize these plans, and it makes me a better realtor, so when people reach out to me, I know exactly what to recommend to them when they mention their criteria. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the video. I want to get back into the home where they did this very cool accent wall behind the primary bed. We have a dresser on this side. And this is Marc doing the details, getting into the details of these homes, which is what I always tell him to do. I tell him, get all the details of the homes. I want to make it feel like people can walk this home and already understand it just from this video. And why I find that helps is because when buyers get to this primary bathroom and they see vanities on either side, they see a couple pendant lights, which is such a cool design upgrade. When they walk these homes in person, it's more of a review. And that's where I find your home search process is so much easier when you can rule out homes that you don't really like, and you can tell that in a video. But for homes that you do like, you want to validate that by go seeing them in person. And that review process is so much easier rather than having everything brand new, you've never seen it before. Also, capturing these design upgrades is fantastic. Buyers tell me they love the contrast in here in these showers, where they did a floor tile that was very dark. Take a look at the movement in the wall tile that goes all the way up to the ceiling, and that is an incredible walk-in shower. Good amount of space, great design upgrades. I was actually just at a design studio earlier with a client of mine, and they loved finding these different tiles that had those stark veins running through them, and then running that tile vertically all the way up to the ceiling. What was also cool with what we were doing is we were looking at different accent bands that we could do in another bathroom, just to do a fun element in there. And that was actually in the secondary bathroom down, which had a walk-in shower in it, because my clients' parents are going to be staying in that bedroom predominantly. In fact, as soon as my clients contracted, their parents, who live in India, booked a ticket right away. They said, when are you going to close? Okay, 6 to 7 months out. We'll book a flight 8 months out. And now that we're going to the design studio, we actually went to an open house with a builder, which was great. We didn't have that during the pandemic for obvious reasons, but now we're getting these open houses where you can go and browse some of the design items. It's so fun to do that with clients and get them imagining living in this home, because that's what it's all about. It's not about like this very cool tile. It's like, that's the tile I'm gonna be around every day when I'm taking a shower. And then sometimes it's fun to kind of pick those design upgrades, and pick a lot of these upgrades that are here, including structural upgrades. So this is going to be the extended patio option in this floor plan. They did an outdoor kitchen, which you don't often see. One thing I'll mention, not to dissuade anybody, but you see that mini fridge there. A lot of times that fridge, if it's running all year round, especially during the summer, it takes a lot of power to run there. And if you're only putting, like somebody told me, if you're only putting a 6-pack of beer in there, it's going to be an expensive pack of a 6-pack of beer, because it takes a lot for that refrigerator to run, especially when it's hot out. But I do think that outdoor kitchen is beautiful, and I've seen a lot of people do like outdoor sinks there, gas stub out for a grill. And even though the yard is fairly tight here, there are great lots in Highland Village where you can really build from scratch and pick a lot of these fantastic upgrades that you see with Sitterle. And I have one that does back up to privacy and a green belt in this community. And again, later on in the video, I'm going to show you one that has one of the most incredible views in North Austin. So stick around for that. That is a great home. Also, we're going to talk about the area that we're in called Georgetown, Texas, and this community, Highland Village, located in Georgetown. A lot of people know Georgetown now because it was ranked #1 of fastest growing large cities in America. That's for cities with a population above 50,000. So now that it's on everybody's radar, we'll certainly talk about what's happening out here. Getting back into the plan, we do have a dining room that was there right before we got into the kitchen. I like that accent wall that was in that dining room. Anytime you have a room that is opened up to another room that you're going to be using for different purposes, obviously kitchen for cooking, dining room for eating, an accent wall will make that space stand out and feel unique, even though it's opened up to that other space. And these are the different hacks that I know, because I've been around so many designers, I've designed so many homes with clients, and it's not a part that I thought I would like when I first got into real estate many years ago. But now I love it, simply because you take a look at the floor tile in this utility room, or rewind this video and take a look at that. It's simple things like that that I see buyers fall in love with at the design studio. And then when I see them when they're living in their home, those are the things they mention. They absolutely love some of the small design elements in their home. Just like here in the study, take a look at those the cabinetry, and then those doors slide to the side, and that opens up for what could be the best Zoom background I've seen. And for some of my buyers, these are the things they think about, especially a lot of them that are in tech, which is the majority of my buyers. They talk about Zoom backgrounds and having a very cool study. A lot of them move here from the West Coast, so 32% of my clients come from Seattle, 27% come from the state of California, and for so many of them, they just can't get any square footage, and they don't have an office, or they have like a mini office somehow that's usually like a big closet or something like that. And I had a buyer tell me like they just cannot wait to just work in a study that feels bigger. I had a client say that they want 20-foot tall ceilings in their living room because sometimes they just like changing it up and taking Zoom calls from their living room. And I never thought of doing that, but if you're home and nobody else is home with you, it's just nice to kind of get out and take a call there. And I can see why, especially with the amount of hours people work, and sometimes we just need a break, but it just needs to be something small, like going into a different room. And I totally get that. So if you're watching this, you're on the West Coast, I'm telling you, a lot of people reach out to me from YouTube from the West Coast, so don't hesitate to reach out. There are so many great new build opportunities here in the Austin metro. Now, moving on, we are looking at a full bathroom, and this is going to be located right off of the bedroom that's located on the front of the home. Now, I know it doesn't look the part, but sometimes they use these bedrooms as like as you see the printer there, it's like a builder agent's office. But if somebody was living here, I would say most people would use this as the second bedroom downstairs. And it does have a closet, which we'll see next. And for so many of my buyers, I think this is a great place for their parents. I have so many people saying, I'm checking the second bedroom downstairs dimensions, and I've pulled out my laser measuring gun or whatever you call that, but I put it up against the wall, and I know now a lot of second bedroom down sizes. I know the small ones, I know the kind of big ones, I know the plans that have a generational suite option, which makes the bathroom an in-suite full bathroom. Now they don't offer that in this plan, but there are some great plans with Sitterle that are very unique, that offer a great deal of privacy for a second bedroom downstairs. In fact, the home that has a view that I'm going to show later on in this video has exactly that. It has what we call a casita, which is a separate area that's a bedroom and has an in-suite full bathroom. So stick around for that. That's a unique plan with that incredible view. Now, getting back into this home, we do have a game room and 2 bedrooms split by a full bathroom here. Now, while we go through this, I want to talk a little bit more about what's happening in this area of Georgetown, because I think for so many people that are looking at moving to Austin, they pull up a map, they know nothing about how Texas cities are built, and they see these areas that are so far out of the city, and they think, wow, that's so far out of the city, that's the country. And they don't realize what's happening in Austin, because I promise you, the areas that feel like their country change within a year. And I've seen it time and time again. And if you want to zoom with me, I'll show you what that trend looks like. But while you're watching this and that you're looking at this small office space, which I think is a good place for kids to get schoolwork done and kind of have them upstairs, kind of private from everything else, which is fantastic. And you'll see a couple bedrooms up here now. While we're going through this, I'll tell you that people say that when they live in these areas that are a little bit further out and their dollar goes far, it might be a little bit annoying for the first year. They might have to go a little bit further than what they like for like a grocery store or a restaurant or a shop, but then it starts to catch up to their area. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. So there's a community about 10 to 12 minutes south of this community called Santa Rita Ranch. Now, I've done a lot in Santa Rita Ranch, had 11 closings there last year. In fact, 3 to 4 years ago, I had a client buy with Sitterle in Santa Rita Ranch, and we worked with the same builder agent that's the builder agent for this community. And shout out to her if she's watching, fantastic builder agent. But here's my point. When we bought back then, or when I say we, my clients bought their home 3 to 4 years ago, that community was so far out. It was the furthest out community that we were looking at, and they didn't really want to go that far, but things got really tight during the pandemic in terms of inventory, and we decided to go that far out, and they were very happy with their home with Sitterle, especially building it from scratch. They had a lot of fun at the design studio, but they were concerned about nothing around that area. And now there is so much around their area. There's a grocery store, there are restaurants, there's shops, there's an Orange Theory, there's a dentist, there's a Chase Bank, there's a grocery store that's an ethnic grocery store, which they're worried about no ethnic grocery stores around them, and now it's right outside of their community. And so now people are looking north of Santa Rita Ranch in areas like this called Highland Village, and I think these are the communities that I'm going to be touring often, because I think for the price point and what's coming to this area, that combination is going to make this area very appealing in years like 2024 and beyond. And what's coming to this area, and I want to be clear, I can't speculate too much publicly as a licensed realtor, but I can tell you that I was told that HEB grocery store just bought land a couple minutes north of here. Now, if you don't know HEB, if you're located out of state, it's a grocery store that's very popular here in Texas. Now, I know for most people, they say, what's the big deal? It's a grocery store. I can tell you that happened south of here around that community called Santa Rita Ranch, and now there's so many things that popped up around there. So usually the grocery store is the foundation for infrastructure in an area, and then more commercial follows. Again, I can't tell you for sure that's going to happen in this area. I can just tell you what the trend has happened south of here, and that news that HEB just bought land north of here, which I'm not really surprised by. Now, there is a lot more going on that I could mention, like Apple's building their second campus, their second headquarters, about 25 miles south of here on the same road that leads to the entrance of this community. Now, there is traffic on that road, but without traffic, I just did it on Google Maps. It's about 31 minutes to travel those 25 miles. So that's pretty good growth to have. A big tech company like Apple coming close by. There's also 2 children's hospitals being built in the northwest quarter of Austin. There's so much more growth. So reach out to me if you want more information on that. And I want to piggyback on what we were talking about earlier about hiring my videographer, Marc, to get footage of all these plans. This is the level of detail that I go through just on YouTube. But if that's what I'm doing on YouTube, just imagine what I'm doing for my clients. And I'll give you one look at that. There is a Trello buyer board that I built out for all clients. So if you're familiar with the software platform called Trello, I use that to put all the floor plans that I think make sense for you based on your criteria. But instead of just giving you base prices and all these things you got to add to it, I give you final prices of all the options with all the builders in all the communities that I think make sense for you. And having it in one centralized location, I've found is very useful for buyers. So reach out to me. My number's at the bottom of the description of this video. The 2 homes for sale with Sitterle, one with the view is on the right side of your screen, and the other one that's in this community is on the left side of your screen. As always, hope this helps. Take care, everyone.